Welcome to the episode 73. So today's episode we're going to be talking about the Meteora pools in Solana and why liquidity farming in Solana, especially for the new meme tokens that get launched, is different from the liquidity farming or the liquidity pool options that we've seen in the other blockchains. So I've been making passive income videos using liquidity mining, using decentralized finance for almost 2 years now, 2+ years now. Today we'll talk about the Solana Meteora pool options and how it is different from the other blockchains. Along with that, there is a connected topic which is basically bridging one of the tokens from Injective, which is a meme token Qunt for Injective Quants, and we'll talk about the success of the Qunt token as well as how to bridge it from Injective to Solana and what are the benefits and advantages if you are bridging it from Injective to Solana. And we'll probably do a full demo in the video and after bridging it, what can we do with the Qnt token? So as usual, disclaimer warnings, I am not a financial advisor, I'm not an investment expert. All of these videos, I'm doing it just to share the learning experiences that I've gained over a number of years right now. So again, one of the important points I keep mentioning is never send your money to anyone who calls and a professional broker or investment advisor. All of them are frauds, and they'll target you in emails and comments, and they will use sometimes even use my name. Never ever send your money or crypto to anyone else. It's your money and you invest it. I do not have any Telegram groups or closed groups at the moment. There's a lot of misinformation that can easily be spread in a closed group like a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group. So everything that I post, I posted publicly on Twitter. I'm active on the handle @Chennai2London. I'll give you the links to it if you want to follow me. And if you follow my Twitter account, you'll get a lot more updates much quicker and much easier. And not only me, but all the other crypto information, you'll get it much faster. So before we go into today's video, there's some prerequisite knowledge that I expect you to have. Then it will make much more sense in terms of what I'm talking about. So if you have not watched the video, it will be difficult to understand some of the concepts like decentralized exchange. What is liquidity pool? What does it mean by providing and removing liquidity? Fee rewards from liquidity pools. What does a form mean? And what is impermanent loss? These are some of the key components or key topics, that key points that we're going to be referring back in this video. And if you do not understand this, it'll be really difficult. And these are, at least this is one video that I would suggest that would give you some basic knowledge on these concepts. And it's available in both English and Tamil. So it is episode 24. I'll give you the links to these videos as well. I'll give you the links to all of the key blockchain videos that I've made. But these few videos that I'm going to be referring to will be very important for you to watch, and then only this video will make a lot more sense because we'll be referring back to the concepts of liquidity mining and providing liquidity and etc. And also prerequisite knowledge for Solana. So I have posted about Injector blockchain and about the Solana blockchain. So what is what is Injector blockchain? How do you install Kepler wallet from Injective blockchain? Transferring funds into Injective. How do you use Injective DApps, decentralized applications? And same thing about Solana. Again, how do you use Solflare, Phantom wallet? How do you transfer funds into Solana? Using the decentralized applications on Solana. I've done demos on this, and I've also briefly introduced what is wormhole bridge in one of my previous videos. So again, I'll give you the links for these videos. So episode 63 is the video where I have done a full demo of what is Injective, how do you set up the Kepler wallet, and how do you actually stake Injective on the Kepler wallet or on the Injective blockchain. How can you transfer funds into the Injective blockchain from either a centralized exchange or directly getting onto decentralized exchange. I've also done a video in episode 68 about how you can set up the Solana wallets, like Solflare or Phantom wallet, for the example. The video is available in this video, but it's not available in English yet. But it'll be quite useful if you go into the video, because in that video I've explained with a demo in English. The content is in Tamil, but the slides are in English, which you can make use of it, and you can look at the demo, which helps you easily understand. If you followed my previous videos, you'll be able to easily install Solana wallet, Soulflower wallet, and Phantom wallet. And again, in episode 69, I've talked about what is wormhole bridge. In today's video, we'll probably be able to see it in demo. We'll use one of the wormhole bridges, and we'll take one token from one blockchain into the other blockchain. But in general, we've talked about it in the previous videos. So again, these are topics that I have touched upon in Twitter in English, and I've posted detailed content. The same content that I'm going to explain today, I posted it as a detailed thread in Twitter. On October 19, I've kind of created a brief demo, but that demo was in Tamil. So today, that demo I'm going to actually translate it in English, but the content of the video has already been posted in English in Twitter, and I'll share these links as well in terms of what is a Meteora pool, and how you can, even on top of Meteora pool, how we can use automation on Meteora pool. I posted those as well in Twitter before itself. Now, what is the difference between the other blockchains compared to Solana, right? And why we need to be using, or what is the advantage of using Solana, and especially in Meteora pool? So, with some of the other blockchains, the volume is significantly different in Solana as compared to the other blockchains, and this is a big game changer with regards to liquidity mining. So, in Solana, especially some of the meme tokens, the volume of those tokens exceed the volume of tokens in the other blockchain. Like one day volume in Solana can exceed the volume of the whole year in the other blockchains. And this is very important. I'll show you with an example as to why this is important. And also the fees is very less, so you can actually trade with even much lesser fees. So compare a scenario one where you're providing a liquidity of $100, and if the volume in the whole year is about $10,000, if you're the only person that is providing the liquidity and the fees is one person, then the total fees is $100 and your fees is also $100. So you provide a liquidity of $100 on the one person fees, the volume of 10,000, you get $100. The APY is $100. So in 1 year, you put $100, you got $100 in fees. So APY is $100. If there are 50 people in the same scenario, if there are 50 people, then of that $100, you will only get $2. Let's say equally, everyone is provided equal liquidity, right? So then you will get only $2. It means the APY is only 2%. So in 1 year, out of the $100 that you provided, you will get only $2. So for you to get that $100 in fees, like we did in scenario one, if there are 50 people, and the volume needs to then go up to $500,000. So it needs to go up by that many number of times, as many number of people are there. So the volume needs to be $500,000 for you to get, for the total fees to be $5,000, and for the 50 people to then get $100 each, so that APY can still remain at 100%. So here you can understand the volume is really important. If the volume had stayed as equivalent in the scenario one, in scenario two, then your rewards would have dropped from what it could be $100 to about $2. So this is which is what you see in typical blockchains. You see scenario two, and the scenario three, the last one, is supposed to be scenario three. There's a small typo. So that is why the volume is important. But what the other blockchains do to compensate for this is they have the farming rewards. So we've spoken about in episode 25, for example, we spoke about Pancakes, and we've spoken about VVS Finance, we've spoken about Dojo. So what these blockchains, or what these DEX platforms do, is they have farming rewards on top of the fee reward. So you provide liquidity, take that like LP token, and then you farm it in another farm, which will then give you a VVS token or a cake token or a Dojo token, which is basically their own token, and it can have depreciation of the price over a period of time because of the excessive quantity that gets produced on a daily basis. Inflationary mechanism of these tokens, the available token will keep going up, which means that we need to do something like a mercenary farming technique, where you have to harvest those rewards on a daily basis in VVS or Cake or Dojo and convert it into USDT or whatever tokens you want. But in Solana, if you provide a token, let's say render on Sol, if you provide liquidity, the rewards, that the fee rewards that you will get will be in render and Sol, which means that you're not getting it in a farm token which is going to be inflationary. You are actually getting the rewards in the same token that you provided liquidity. So which means that there is no need for us to become like a mercenary farming technique where you have to harvest it. You have to convert it into a USDT or a CRO, or whatever token that you're providing. So you're not being affected by an inflationary nature of the DEX platform itself in terms of having to farm for additional liquidity rewards. You're able to sustain your liquidity using the liquidity fees itself. That is the main difference between Solana and the other blockchains. So, for an example, right, we consider the option where the volume is like, in 1 year, volume is about $500,000, where let's say 100 people are provided, which means that you are getting in the whole of the year, if let's say 100 people are providing and the fees is 0.2%, then you'll be getting about $10. Now, the difference in Solana is that the fees can go up to 5% as well. So, but if we consider even 2% fees, and in some of the examples, you will see that there are multiple options available. So, but in other blockchains, the fees will be like as low as 0.2%. So the same liquidity, if you're providing it in Solana and the fees is 2%, the volume is going to be in 1 day. It can do, like I said, the volume that other blockchains achieve in 1 year, which means that if you provide $100, you could probably get $100 in fees in 1 day itself. This is what I'm going to do a demo. And then you will see for yourself, I'll do a live actual demo and you'll be able to see it. A few points to notice that we are going to be mainly talking about in this video about meme tokens, and one portion of the token is going to be in the meme. So if the meme token's value goes up, then your trading fee value also goes up as a result. But if the meme token value falls down, potentially you will have a high impermanent loss where everything will get converted into one meme token, and your Solana will also fully get converted into the other meme token. So you do have to monitor it quite regularly and remove the liquidity when conditions are not favorable. Right, so there is also one more discussion going on that it's not very guaranteed, but there is a discussion going on that there will be a potential add drop at some point for Meteora. There's a token called MET, that a MET token that is being proposed. Again, there's no conclusive guarantee that there will be so add drop, but that is also another advantage that is being circulated. Again, like I said, one big warning again before we go into the video. Impermanent loss option is very, very high. So, for example, if you put $50 of meme token, $50 of Solana, all your the entire liquidity can get converted. The $100 liquidity can get converted into your meme token, and the meme token could go to zero. So, I've always said that meme tokens. When we've spoken about previous meme tokens can easily go to zero. So your entire liquidity can go to zero before any trading fees have even got generated. So this is again very, very important to pick the tokens based on the stability. And I will share what options I am using to pick the tokens on based on volume, social media presence, TVL, which is total volume lock, total value lock, which is very important. Again, this is just my strategy that I'm sharing. You can, adapt a different strategy based on, what works for you. So what I do is I go to birdeye.so, then you filter on Solana and you do explore and find gems option and go to most viewed. In this, the some of the parameters that I'm using is minimum 5 million volume, 24-hour volume is minimum 5 million, and minimum 50,000, 100,000 in total value lock, which means that that many people have put in that much of total value into liquidity already. So liquidity is already around $100,000. And preferably, you could set a minimum liquidity of $500,000 already being provided for this token, which means that the likelihood of this token going to zero is probably far lesser. So the couple of examples that I'm going to be using in this video are, one is GOAT token, which was at $14 million TVL and $145 million 24-hour volume. It's the next difference. The other one is AI Cry Note, which is $300,000 TVL and about $9 million is 30x volume, right? So before we go into Meteora pools, I want to talk about Raydium, which is one of the decentralized exchanges in Solana. And for established tokens like the Render token, for example, which I've talked about a lot, which is a hodl token, we should be using rather Raydium pools, and I use Raydium pools for the established tokens like Render and Solana. So as you can see, there's a concentrated liquidity section, and if you can find your token under the concentrated liquidity section of Raydium, this is probably a better place than Meteora pool in terms of volume for the established tokens. So, for example, my Render tokens and my Solana tokens, a portion of it, I am providing liquidity using the Raydium option rather than the Meteora pool options. For meme tokens is where I will be going into the Meteora pool option. So I go to the liquidity concentrator, click on deposit, and you would have seen this in number of examples. So you choose you connect the wallet, and then you provide it in equal values in terms of Solana Render. This is a normal liquidity process that we do. But the difference here is again the volume, and even though the fees here is 0.25%, the volume would actually mean that you will be getting a decent liquidity mining fees, and we don't need an additional farm for getting any additional rewards. So what we'll do is we'll click on connect. So you can either use the Phantom wallet or you can use the Soulflower wallet. In this example, I've got already a Soulflower wallet installed. Like I said in my video, we are assuming here at this point of time that Soulflower wallet is already installed. So now I'm going to go to Meteora pools, and Meteora pools, you can see I'm using one of the examples where I've already provided liquidity for AI Cry node and Goat here. So if I go to the AI Cry node and Goat, you can see that my unclaimed swap fee is already showing up. So I provided around roughly around $100 or $82 of liquidity, so $40 of AI Cry node and $40 of Solana, and it has generated over a period of 24 hours. It has generated swap fees, and you can see the unclaimed swap fees in the token values in terms of Solana and AI Cry node. Now, in the recent updates that Meteora has done, you can see the dollar value of unclaimed swap fee as well. Previously, it used to be such that you have to claim the swap fees, only then you will be able to see the dollar equivalent value of the fees that are in unclaimed position. So till you claim it, you will not be able to see it. So at the moment, you can see that the pool has got about 30,000, or more or less 90% is in already in the meme token, and there's only about 0.01 soul left in the liquidity pool position perspective. But if I claim the fees, and after a few seconds of claiming, so it will say executing transactions, and then once transaction is completed, uh, for a first few seconds it will not reflect, but if you wait for a few seconds, that claimed position's dollar value will then start reflecting. So as you can see, in 24 hours, the fee that I have claimed using this liquidity is about $82 roughly. But the meme tokens value keeps going down. So as the total liquidity value, which was showing at $82, when the refresh has happened, you can see the value has actually now come down with the regards to the value of AI grind node. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to swap, and the that meme token portion that I've claimed, I'm going to convert that also into Solana, so that if the meme tokens value goes down any further, at least the fees that I have claimed, I'm able to now convert it fully into Solana, and the total fees that I've claimed is now safe enough that it is fully, so $82 of fees that I've collected has now been fully converted into Solana, which I can then, the total investment that I've made, I've actually recovered in a period of 24 hours, and some portion or majority of the portion of the investment is still remaining. The goat token, as you can see, is in orange color, it's not in green color, which indicates it has been fully converted from one position to the other position. In terms of AI coin node, it got converted into the meme token, but here goat's value has gone up, and so the goat tokens had been fully converted to Solana. And I can click on claim fees, and you can see that the fees will get claimed. But even though I provided, let's say, $250 of liquidity, I have probably got roughly around 40 to about $60 to $70 in liquidity, and the liquidity mining has stopped because one portion has fully got converted into the other token. So only when you have at least some portion of one of the token left, when we add position, we'll add 50 percentage. But right now, because everything has been converted into one side token, if it is not in green, that means that it is no longer generating any liquidity. So the goat position or the goat liquidity is no longer generating any liquidity for me. And so that you can see when you click on it, you will be able to see whether it has gone into the meme token position or whether it has gone into the Solana position, or the whatever the other side of token that you're providing. So right now, what I can do is I can go to swap and I can select the goat tokens, and I can see it's about $44. So I can swap it to the Solana tokens. Now the one thing to notice, the value of the token can either go up or down. So in this case, the token that I'm swapping goat was around 40 cents or 50 cents, which is why 100 goat tokens was about $44. But the goat tokens value from October to November had gone up nearly $1. So that, if I had not swapped, would have been around roughly $100 plus. So as I said, birdeye.so, and go to find gems, explore find gems, and I use the most viewed option in find gems tab. So here, if you click on the most viewed option, then you can then look at the volume, 24-hour volume, and the TVL in one page, and it will show you the top 15 or 20 trending tokens. So as you can see, the GOAT token is on the top. It's got about $14 million in terms of the TVL. An AI Cry node is sitting here. It's about $300,000 in TVL, and is about $9 million in the 24-hour volume, which is the 30 times difference that I was talking about earlier when we started this demo, right? So that is one reason why I had picked it up. So it's kind of fitting into my parameter of above 100,000 in terms of TVL, and above $5 million in terms of the total volume, 24-hour volume, right? So which means that it's about 30 times the TVL is being traded, and which means that whatever liquidity you're providing, you are expecting more fees out of it, because the higher the ratio of TVL to the 24-hour volume, the higher the fees is going to be for the liquidity that you are going to provide. This is what we have explained using the examples as well. So again, but if you see the price for AI node in the last 24 hours, it has dropped about 34%. Whereas GOAT in the last 24 hours, it has gone up by about 75%, which is why the GOAT tokens were fully converted into Solana. And as you can see, $14 million is the TVL and $150 million is the 24-hour volume. So about 10 times the total volume or total value locked has been the 24-hour volume. There are some tokens, as you can see, it's like, the volume as well as the total value locked is very, very less. So these are high risk tokens, and very easy that it can actually go to zero, because the total value locked is very negligible as compared to the other tokens that we've just seen, and the volume is also not that great. So even though it's the number one trending token, but the parameters that you need to be, I mean, I see at least, is the total value locked and the 24-hour volume, not the parameter which is saying, whether it's the number one trending tokens. That could be bot activity, which is actually increasing why the token has gone to number one. So GCAT was not one of the tokens that I would have provided liquidity for in that scenario. Now, Medusa is another token that I provided liquidity on. And as you can see, the 24-hour volume compared to the TVL lock is also higher for Medusa as well. Right. So what we'll be doing in this video now is we'll take this token and we'll provide liquidity, we'll provide new liquidity and show you, how liquidity can be provided. So go to Meteora pools, copy the token address, and go to the Meteora pools under DLMMM, dynamic liquidity, and select the option which is giving you the highest 24-hour fees per TVL. So the top one gives me the highest 24-hour fees. So selected it and I go to swap, and I can swap here itself. I can connect the wallet here in Meteora pools itself, and I can swap here itself. I can swap my Solana to Medusa token here itself on the Meteora pool, or I can go into another decentralized exchange like Jupiter, for example, and swap it there. But right now I have the option to swap. So I'm actually swapping about $25, roughly about 0.15 Solana. I'm converting it. It is now got converted into Medusa. So now click on add position and I click on max. And if you use the autofill option, the Solana will automatically be, the amount of Solana will automatically be filled up. Now, to provide the liquidity to create the position, you need about 0.06 Solana as fees, and which is refundable. So when you create the position over and above the Solana that you're providing to add to the liquidity, there is also an additional Solana of 0.06 that is needed. So if you don't have 0.06 left in the wallet, then it will not be possible to add liquidity. So make sure that you have at least 0.2 Solana left in the wallet over and above the Solana that you are adding to create the liquidity. So now I clicked on add liquidity, and sometimes it takes about 5-6 seconds, sometimes take about 10 seconds as well. And transaction, if it fails, you just need to keep retrying the transaction, because there's always a congestion option. Again, immediately after providing liquidity, when transaction status is completed, if nothing appears on the screen, don't worry, because once the transaction is completed, for your screen to refresh, it could take like up to a minute sometimes. So now you can see the liquidity has been provided and your Medusa and Solana balance is displayed. And if you keep looking at it after a few minutes, you can start to see slowly, depending upon the volume, you can start to see slowly the fees starts increasing. Now, one of the things with regards to the meme tokens is that You will find liquidity is there in Raydium as well, but not under the concentrated section, but under the standard section. So even though it is saying the APR is 2,498%, for more than a day, I've given liquidity of, let's say, $45, and I can't see any rewards being harvested or any rewards being accrued. So providing liquidity on Radium pools is not a good option for meme tokens, whereas for established tokens, that is a great option. The same liquidity when I provide it in Meteora pools for the same token, even though the volume is showing as higher on a Radium pool and the APR is showing higher on a Radium pool, we are not getting any benefits, or at least I have not seen fees being generated on the standard pools of Radium. Whereas in Meteora, you will immediately start to see the fees getting generated. Now, the Medusa pool option that we've just added, you can start to see that the fees has already started getting generated. So that is as easy as adding liquidity, and you can start looking at the fees that is getting generated, again with all the warnings that the token prices fluctuate very very rapidly, which means that your tokens can either go to one side, which is Solana, or the tokens could go to the meme token itself. If it goes to Solana, it's fine, at least because Solana's price is more or less stable or keeps going up in this cycle. But if it goes to the meme token, and the meme token can actually go to zero value, that is one thing that we need to keep mindful of. So again, there is no hard and fast rule as to how often you need to keep harvesting your rewards. But I would say, once you make like $20 to $30, you can probably start harvesting it. And it's also a good idea, in my opinion, which is what I do, to convert the meme token portion of the fees. Like for example, if Medusa, I can convert the meme token portion of the Medusa into Solana, so that at least one side of the fees is, I mean, the fees that you are earning is protected in terms of Solana. It's like converting it into USDT. It's almost like the concept of what we do with regards to the VVS token or cake token, for example. Now, like I said, the three tokens that I talked about in this video, GOAT, AI Cry Node, and the Medusa tokens, over a period of 1 month, the GOAT token price had actually doubled. So that 100 tokens that I had got for GOAT, if I kept it and not sold it, it would have been, instead of $40 that I converted, it would have been $90 now. But AI Cry Node price had remained pretty much the same, so there was not much of a risk. But the last token, Medusa token, that we were demonstrating for the demo purposes, that had lost about 90% of the value. It was about $0.009, and it's now about 90% less at $0.0007. So if this had happened the time when you were providing liquidity, then you could have pretty much lost the entire liquidity that you provided. So again, that's the balance of the risk there. Okay, so now we talk about the Qnt token, and this is from the project of Injective Quants. Now, if you've been following me on Twitter and all the social media posts, back in Feb, I posted about the Quant token sale. And at that point of time, this token sale was on Mito Finance, and it was from February 22nd to February 26th. It lasted for 4 days, where you could have actually put some amount in, and you could have got the Quant token. Now, Quant token, immediately after the sale got completed on the 26th of February, it pumped nearly about 60 times the price, and it stayed about 30 times the price. And even at that point of time, it posted saying the price has actually jumped about 60 times, and it's still staying at about 30 times. And I did take some profits at that point itself. Immediately, I had taken some profits, and I did post about it saying that I had taken about 30%, roughly, I had taken profits out of it, because it had gone up nearly 60 times, and it even at the minimum profit levels, it was staying as about 30 times the profit. Now, I call this the most successful launch ever on the Injective ecosystem. The reason is, Injective coins as an NFT itself was given free to anyone who bought the first Injective, which was Premium Ninjas. I think we've talked about it enough on episode 65 in terms of the NFT itself. But the Quant token was a gated sale for anyone who owned the Injective Coins NFT. On 22nd of February, if you had the NFT, then you will be able to participate in the sale. Depending upon how many NFTs you have, you'll be able to put that much amount into the NFT, or into the token purchase, or the launch option. So NFT, if you never owned the NFT or if you never got it free like me, then you could have still bought the NFT, which what I explained during those days. But the NFT price was really high. It's about 14 ING at that point of time, which meant that at that price, on that day's price, you probably needed about $550 as an entry point itself to get into the token launch. So, in fact, these token price launches probably led the INJ recovery to about $50 at that point of time. One price on launch was $0.00012. And price today, when I made this video last week, it was about $0.029, which is a 240x increase at that point of time. But because of the oversubscription, for every NFT holder, they were allocated only about 6.7. Even if you put $100, you were allocated only about $6.7. Rest of the money was returned back. And this was allocated in the form of Qunt tokens and Qnt INJ tokens. In Qnt INJ, liquidity pool tokens. So the number of Qnt tokens were allocated was 28,000 per NFT, and the LP tokens that were given was 22.57 liquidity pool tokens. So today, like I said, the Qnt token was worth about nearly 3 cents, 0.029 cents. It has fallen down today in today's price. It's about 0.02 cents. But when I made the video last week, it was almost touching an all-time high of $0.03 dollars, 3 cents, and the liquidity pool option was about $6.62. So that's $6.7 if you had participated in the launch. For it was available for 4 days, and had you put in even $10 into it, you would have been allocated $6.7 for every NFT that you had held. So so what is the current return of investment, right? So the 28,000 Qnt tokens at today's price would be about $812. And the 22 LP tokens, had you not withdrawn your LP, it's currently worth about $6.62, which means that that's another $149. If you had withdrawn it and converted everything into Qnt tokens, then it would have been even more higher. But if we keep it at that level, then the current value is about $961. And assuming the fact that we spent about $6.7 and converting it into $961, that is about 14,349 percentage, which is 140 times the overall return of investment for the Qnt token. I don't think there's any other token that had done as well as the Qnt token. And again, not only that, on over and above these token prices and everything that we're talking about, injector quants still kept giving more and more airdrops for premium ninjas holders, injector quants holders, and other ecosystem holders. And so the total number of tokens that they had provided just by holding Qnt tokens or the injector quant NFTs were even higher. So you probably can assume that another at least $100 or $200 worth of Qnt was provided free of cost, because it was about $18 per NFT at that point of time. But that to 2000 Qnt tokens would be worth, at the price that we were talking about in the video, 3 cents, it would have been worth about $60. So again, this is why while the main tokens still remain the main focus, the return of investment sometimes from these meme tokens and the airdrops for NFTs could be significantly higher. So slowly, Qnt token had been rising, and even though there's probably a retrace at this point of time when I'm making the video on 30th of November, the expectation is that on the long run, when injective goes on a significant run, the Q20 tokens or all the ecosystem tokens could also potentially go on a run. So in back in August, September, I had posted about the DeFi opportunities on injective itself. So on Mito Finance, which is one of the decentralized exchanges of injective ecosystem, injective blockchain, I posted that you could provide liquidity for injective QNT, and there was a farm that was there because the fee itself wasn't as rewarding. There was a farm that was created by Mito Finance. That farm is no longer there, so there's no APR being generated on injective ecosystem right now. But if you provided liquidity for injective and Quint, then Mito Finance provided a farm where they're providing rewards in the form of injective Quant itself, or in the form of Quant token itself. So that APR at that point of time was nearly 100%, because providing about roughly $2,300 of liquidity over a period of 2 months yielded about $230. Now let's compare that to Solana in a few minutes. But before that, let's talk about the idea that Qnt token injective quants had proposed late in October, saying that they were trying to bridge using wormhole. They were trying to bridge the Qnt token from injective into Solana. Again, the summary was same token, and there'll be no new tokens that are getting created. It's using wormhole bridge, which means the total supply will remain the same. Injective will still remain the home, but they were trying to use the Solana's higher volume and higher arbitrage and bring the trading fees back into injective. So they also as a community token, they also asked for Solana donations, and I thought it was a really good idea and something different that an injective ecosystem token or injective ecosystem project was doing. So I immediately sent one Solana in today's value, and it's about $250 worth of token. I also contributed. Like me, many others had contributed small values into this idea. I think one of the reasons probably Injective Quants wanted to do this was they wanted more people to own the idea itself of bridging to Solana. So they collected about roughly about 200 Solanas, about $50,000. They collected as donations, or people pitching into the idea to say that yes, we would like to try this idea and see how it works. Which is again one of the reasons, because I was putting my funds into it. Probably the first time that I had done something like this, where I had contributed funds into a decentralized project asking for funds from the users, which is again one of the reasons I was constantly providing updates to say that I was eagerly waiting for the Quant token bridge to happen to Solana, and also try and see if providing liquidity in Meteora pools, like I had explained, if I'm getting same kind of results that I'm getting from the normal Solana meme tokens. Finally, on 22nd of November, the bridge was opened, and I on Twitter I immediately shared my initial feedback within a few minutes, or probably just an hour of the bridge being open. I used the bridge option, and I provided my initial feedback that bridging experience was great, but I also provided my small concerns that what if the volume dies back. That was one of my main concerns. But if the volume stayed, I was just expecting that the options that we had seen in Meteora would fully materialize for the Quant token itself. But at least for the first day, I was expecting the volume to be significantly higher. So I wanted to have the bridge experience and bridge it into Solana and provide liquidity and see how that goes with regards to providing liquidity. So now that you got the concept of what injective quants token was and the advantage of going to Solana and the fee options that are available in Solana, now what we'll do is we'll do a demo of bridging from injective into Solana, add the quant token into a Meteora pool in Solana blockchain, and we'll see how much fees gets generated depending upon the volume. Now, one disclaimer is that when we made this video, that was the first day, so the volume was really higher. The volume has significantly died down. But before we do that, let's just throw some questions which will get answered in this video, because these are the questions that I kept getting asked. If I'm a QNT token holder, how does this benefit me, and what happens if I don't bridge? What am I missing if I don't bridge, right? So these are the questions that I tried to answer in the demo. And again, this needed this context to bring it into light. So you go to bridge.injective.network/memes/bridge. I'll give you the link for all of this in the video description. And not just Qnt token, but a few other tokens were also enabled, but probably only Qnt token had as much as a connect, or at least on the first day. Unfortunately, it doesn't recognize Solflare, so you probably need a Phantom wallet. So even though I had Solflare, the injective bridge currently does not recognize or connect to Solflare, so it asked me to install Phantom. So I had to install Phantom on the browsers where I only had Solflare, for example, or I had to use a Phantom option. But the download install Phantom option is given there. So again, Phantom is just another wallet, just very similar to Solflare. So I've got 2000 injective quants in this demo wallet here. And so what I'll do is I'll make sure that I've got both the injective ecosystem and the Solana ecosystem connected. And I've got about $80 worth of Solana here, and about 2000 quant here, which is roughly about $60. So now I'll go to the bridge, and I'll initially do a refresh, because if you've never had Phantom, you probably need to do a refresh so that it can recognize Phantom and it can connect to Phantom. So you'll connect to both the Kepler wallet for Injective, and you'll also connect to the Phantom wallet for Solana. So you're connecting to two wallets. So one wallet is Kepler for Injective, another wallet is Phantom for Solana. That is how you'll be able to bridge from Injective into Solana. Now, as soon as I connected, it is showing my 2000 Injective Qunt tokens. It is showing it in the bridge option. So what I'm going to just check is that I'm going to just check the Solana address is the same as what is mentioned in the receiver, and just making sure that the address is exactly the same. Now I'm going to select 2000 tokens fully here. Now I've got 2000 tokens on my Injective wallet. I'm going to select all 2000 tokens. I'm going to click on transfer. Now it asks for about 4 or 5 approvals and small fees in all of the approval stages. Overall, I think the total fees was roughly around less than 50 cents. But I just wanted to show you the number of times that it asks for a bridge like this, the number of times that it asks for free transactions. So first time it asks for like 0.002 sol. Click on confirm, and I'm pretty much, I recorded this in real time with the time option there, so you can understand how quickly the whole bridging experience is completed, because sometimes Ethereum bridging, for example, can take up to 30 minutes even. So I wanted to just show the wormhole option, how fast the wormhole option in terms of bridging from Injective into Solana is. And you can do the other side as well. You can bring from Solana into Injective as well. So again, this is the second time that is asking for a fee, and even though the network fee is very less, the Solana fees was originally 0.002, now it is again 0.001. Again, it was asking for a third time, it is asking for a network fees, but network fees is kind of negligible. It is like less than 0.0001 cents, I would say. So, so far I've given 3 approvals, and all 3 approvals has been on the Solana wallet. Now again, it asks for 0.002. So in total, it has so far asked for 0.005 Solana, I would say. And there have been 3 approvals. Now the final approval, or hopefully the final approval, is the fourth approval, where it is saying that 2000 Qnt tokens is going to get added to my Solana wallet or the Phantom wallet. So I click on confirm, and so far all the 4 approvals that I've done have been on the Phantom wallet, have been on the Solana side. So finally, when all the wallet transfers, I mean wallet approvals are complete, after 4 approvals, my tokens will then get transferred from Injective into Solana. So now I go to the birdeye.so. I can look at the Solana contract, and the Solana's token name in birdeye.so is QNT token, but with a bracket of wormhole token. So which means that it's a bridge token, which we'll be able to see. And you can see the price is almost going at the same rate as compared to the Injective option. There's not too much of a variation in terms of the arbitrage. So I go to the Meteora pool. Again, I'll give the link to this as well. So I can see that there is about $3,500 already TVL provided, and there is decent volume that is building up. So I click on connect on the Phantom wallet. Because I have actually transferred the QNT tokens to Phantom wallets here. So previously we were using Solfair wallet, just to say. So now I go to the pool option, and I go down and I click on as usual, like what we have done. Click on the add liquidity. So my QNT token balance should appear here from the bridged QNT token, and my Solana balance is appearing. Now I'll just provide half the QNT token. So even though you can bridge 2000 tokens, you don't need to provide liquidity for all of it. I'm just showing this as an example that you can provide liquidity for whatever quantity that you want to provide liquidity for. There's no need for you to provide liquidity on the entire range. This applies to all meme tokens, not just QNT. And I just compare the price, because the price is showing in Solana. I just compare the price to what is there in birdeye.so, making sure that it's not too different from the birdeye.so price. So finally, I click on add liquidity, and as I said, the Solana needed to create a position. The refundable Solana needed to create a position is about 0.06 Solana. And once you close the position, that refundable option, that refundable Solana will get refunded to you. So even though the Solana that I'm providing liquidity for is only 0.13, for the 0.06 added to it, I'm providing roughly around 0.192 Solana, and QNT tokens, I'm providing about 1000 QNT tokens. So again, It takes about a few seconds, and the liquidity for Qnt tokens to Solana has been completed. And like I said before in my previous example, it takes a few seconds for your liquidity to appear here. So immediately after providing liquidity, if it doesn't appear, don't get tense, but it just takes a few seconds for the dollar value to start appearing in your liquidity section. So now, as you can see, the liquidity is appearing, and your current balance is starting to appear. Immediately after providing the liquidity, you can see the unclaimed swap fee has started generating. That is because the volume on that day was quite good. There was decent volume that was going on. So if the volume dies down, then you will not see unclaimed swap fees, or you will not see the swap fees being increasing. But as you can see, $60 that we provided, and immediately after providing, within a few seconds, 4 cents of swap fees got generated. New position that I've created just to show a demo of how a new position would look like. Now, I will show you overnight what had happened for the Q20 token position that I had provided in one of my other wallets. So I'll just switch to the other wallet where I had already provided the Q20 and Solana position, and we'll see how much fees has been generated in a 24-hour period. So here I provided roughly around $700, and as you can see, so far I've collected about $160. And you can also see the unclaimed swap fee. The difference between the previous demo and this demo is that over a period of time, Meteora has done this improvement where even unclaimed swap fees dollar value is also visible to you. So now I click on claim all fees, and once the transaction gets completed, that unclaimed swap fee will then now get the dollar values will then get added to the fees earned or the claim section. So roughly about $200 of fees has been claimed over a $700 liquidity that I provided in a 24-hour period. Now, if you remember in Mito Finance, over a period of 2 months, for about three times the liquidity, about $2,300, we were able to generate about $200 in fees in 2 months. But in 24 hours, in one day, because of the volume and because of the Solana ecosystem being able to provide this, get this fees back to you using Materia as one of the decentralized applications, we were able to generate this in fees itself without any incentivized liquidity farms, using almost one third of the liquidity. So that is the advantage here. Now, part of the fees that we've claimed obviously will be in Solana. Part of the fees that we've claimed obviously will be in Qnt tokens. So if we want, we can convert the Qnt tokens into Solana immediately, or we can leave it in the other token if you want to. So again, this is just a demo of how to provide new liquidity. What were the options? Now, I do not recommend going and providing Qnt liquidity, high Qnt liquidity at this point, because the volume had significantly died down after I had made this video. But the whole concept was the first 24 hours was always going to be useful, and how to make how to take advantage of when a new token there is enough support moving into Solana, because I expect a lot of other projects to will probably try and copy this, and this is probably what you're going to see at least in the first 24 hours, where you'll be able to take advantage of the high fees that get generated. Now, QNT project itself has probably provided about $150,000 using the community fees that they collected, or the community inputs that they've collected. And so if with $700, if I was able to make $200, then the Quint token ecosystem or the project team itself would have made higher fees on the first 24 hours. And they brought back that fees into Injective, and they burned some QNT tokens, expecting to have a price increase. So all this were basically momentum increase options, or something different that the project team wanted to do. So this was the advantage if you had been a QNT holder, and if you don't bridge, nothing happens. Your injective tokens are your QNT tokens are safe in the injective blockchain. You are not that is not going to go away. There's no loss of funds for you on the injective ecosystem. What you will miss out if you don't bridge is that in the first 24 hours, as you can see, I was able to earn about $200 out of a $700 liquidity that I provided. My liquidity is also safe, and I was able to get about $200 return in 24 hours, which is what I was explaining in Twitter, and I just wanted to make the video. So it's clearer as to what are the opportunities out there to earn these fees in the Solana ecosystem, and as compared to Injective or the other blockchains, how much time it takes to earn the same amount of rewards that we are earning in the other blockchains. Hopefully the video was useful to you. Until next time, thanks, bye.